Welcome back to the channel Hike and Wild. My name is Mark and today I'm excited to share with you my long-term review of one of the top selling backpacks of the last few years, and that is the Osprey Atmos AG 50 litre. And what I wanted to ask was, is this really worth your money buying an expensive backpack, especially as a beginner backpacker? So let me just tell you my story of why I purchased this pack in the first place. So I've been wild camping and backpacking now for about 6 years, but when I first started out, obviously I didn't have the best gear that I have now. I started off with a cheap £20, I think it was a 75 litre rucksack from a supermarket, and this only lasted me 3 trips. So the first was up in Scotland. I did a camping trip, and basically we didn't even need the backpack essentially because the camp was so close to the car. The second was my first solo wild camp on Cap Bells, and then the third, which is when disaster struck. I was climbing Ranadale Knots in the Lake District when I was about 3/4 into the climb, and all of a sudden the straps on the backpack just pinged on one side, completely snapped. The weight of it obviously almost made me tumble back down the side of the mountain. Luckily, no serious injuries. I wasn't hurt or anything. I managed to tie the backpack back together and continue on to the camp, and then obviously descend the next day. But it was after that that I decided enough was enough with cheap gear. I was going to buy something quality, and that was when I decided to start researching backpacks. And at the time, this was probably one of the most popular backpacks on the market, and it's honestly, it stood the test of time. And as a beginner backpacker, it's probably one of the only things that I would recommend buying where I recommend you spend a decent amount of money initially on it, because your backpack is everything. It's what carries everything, and it's what will lead to a comfortable hike. So what is it that makes it worth buying such an expensive backpack so early on in your backpacking journey? And for me, it's durability. So this pack is, I've had it for 5 years or so now, and it's honestly still pretty much like new. It's obviously got scuffs and stuff and signs of use around the backpack, but the materials are such good quality and it is so durable that I can honestly see this pack lasting me another 10 or 15 years if I wanted to. I wouldn't necessarily need to upgrade the pack unless I wanted to just get something lighter or something that had different features, but it wouldn't be a necessary purchase, it would be a want. And it's also crammed full of features that you don't necessarily find on some of the cheaper backpacks. Osprey obviously have their patented anti-gravity system, which is a frame inside the pack which transfers the load of the pack down through your hips and through your legs so that it's not pulling on your back. The pack also has a great adjustable fit on the fly system, which is one of Osprey's features in their backpacks, where you can adjust the torso length and the waistband length to suit you. It's also got a fantastic mesh back system that really does help reduce the amount of sweat that is on your back as you are hiking, helping keep you cool as you hike throughout the day. And it's probably one of the most comfortable packs that I've ever worn. It's got super thick padding around the straps and around the waist strap, and like I say, you can adjust it pretty much anywhere you want to fit your body and get it as comfortable as possible. So one of the other great things about this pack as well is that it can carry a lot of weight. I've carried over 15 kilos in this pack quite comfortably and not even felt the strain. So that is a feature, especially if you're starting out, because you might not have the lightest kit in your pack. So something that is able to carry a lot of weight and help it be as comfortable as possible is a fantastic feature to have in a bag. On the front here, it's got this massive mesh pocket, which I find great for stuffing in things like your rain jacket, which you need quick, easy access to throughout the day. And I love that feature in a backpack, and I would absolutely look for that feature in every future backpack that I buy. And another feature that is important to me, it might not be important to everybody, but is the super stretchy mesh bottle holders on the side. For easy access to your water bottle throughout the day. I don't carry a water bladder in my pack. I prefer to have bottles in my pack. So having quick access to those and being able to put them away fairly easily is a must. One of the other great things about the pack as well is if you like carrying gear on the outside of your pack, it's got a ton of points on it to be able to strap gear to the outside of your pack. You can store your trekking poles on it, you can store your ice axes on it, you can store your tent on the base of the pack if that is what you like doing and you don't like putting your tent inside the pack. Personally, I don't like to store anything on the outside of the pack. I like to try and keep everything contained inside the pack, but it is a nice to have feature. So I absolutely hear you. If it's got all these great features and it's such a great backpack, what are the downsides to it then? So for me, the biggest downside is that it is quite a heavy pack to carry just by itself. It weighs over 2 kilos, which isn't the lightest pack on the market, but for me, that's not entirely a negative thing. Like I said, it is offset by the durability of the pack. And the other criticism that I have of the pack is that the fit on the fly system can be an absolute pain to adjust. I know in the newer packs they have changed the system slightly, so it's a clip system, but this is all Velcro system, so it's a constant undoing and redoing, and it is difficult to really dial it in. But once you do get it dialed in, you probably aren't going to need to change it again. The other minor criticism of the pack is that inside of the pack, the frame protrudes in sort of a semicircle into the pack, which can make packing bulkier items a little bit more difficult and a little bit more finicky to really sort of push down and squash into position inside of the pack. But other than that, I absolutely love it. I think it's a fantastic pack to buy. It is priced at about £200 for the current versions of the Atmos packs, and in my opinion are absolutely worth the investment. Even if you're a beginner backpacker, it's probably one of the only things, like I said, that I would recommend investing early on in. If your budget doesn't stretch that far, I would recommend looking for similar features in some of the more budget packs on the market, because there are some great budget packs on the market that probably aren't as comfortable, they probably don't hold as much weight, but if they have similar features to this pack, it is absolutely something that you can work with. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you've enjoyed this video, please click that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.